So the other day, there were some power rankings put out by Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk. And before he put out these power rankings, he shared, these rankings are not a prediction of how teams will finish the 2024 season. Instead, the following list is a snapshot of where the NFL's teams currently are. Will that stop people from interpreting these rankings as a prediction of how teams will finish the 2024 season? Nope. So where they are right now at this point at the end of June. So as you can see, I'll throw it up here on the screen. He has the Chiefs number 1, 49ers number 2, Lions number 3, Ravens 4, Eagles 5, and we got the Packers down at 6. So he has the Packers pretty highly rated, 6th best team in the NFL. That puts them as he only has, 3 other NFC teams ahead of the Packers, the Eagles, the Lions, and the 49ers. Honestly, the only problem I have with any of the teams ahead of the Packers on this list is the Eagles. I could see why you could say the Ravens, Lions, Niners, and Chiefs would be up there. Of course, the Niners and Lions made it to the NFC Championship. The Packers couldn't get there, lost to the 49ers. So I understand that reasoning. But when it comes to the Eagles, I would put the Packers ahead of the Eagles. The Eagles at the end of last season really started to go downhill. They lost 6 of their final 7 games. They were defeated in the wild card round by the Buccaneers. And so maybe the Eagles, get back to how they have been playing previously in the season with, a new offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore, some improvements on the defensive side of the ball. But I still think the Packers are a better team than the Eagles. I think that Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. So that's really my only big problem with the teams ahead of the Packers. I understand the other ones. I do think when it comes to the NFC North, the Packers and Lions are really going to be going at it until the very end, near the end of the season. I think they're 2 very good, talented teams. And last year, of course, the Lions go 12-5, one of the top seeds in the NFC. The Packers go 9-8, finish as a 7th seed. But I think that, we saw the Packers get better as the year went on. And, the overall rankings and, points scored, points allowed, all that kind of stuff, doesn't give a full picture of what I think the Packers will be in 2024, because I think we saw what this Packers offense really is in the second stretch of the season. And if you take that second stretch and you put that as the 16, 17 game pace for the season, I think the Packers are a 12, 13, 14 win team in that area. And so I do think where last year the Packers were competing for some of those final seeds, I believe this season we'll see the Packers competing for one of the top seeds in the NFC. Those are my thoughts on that. And then looking at the rest of these power rankings, I think that the Cowboys are too low. Even though the Cowboys have struggled to find playoff success in a very long time, losing to the Packers last season in a bad way, with Jordan Love just going off the Cowboys defense that had been really, really good all year, playing really bad. I don't think they're a middle-of-the-road team. I still think I'd probably put them around 9 or 10. Now, I guess it comes down to, if these rankings were, how far would a team go in the playoffs, and Super Bowl-wise, maybe you put the Cowboys lower just because of how they've struggled to find success in the playoffs. But I still think they're a very, very good team. They always, for a while, have found, elite regular season success with Dak Prescott, and it sounds like, Dak's going to, we have to see what's going to happen with the Dak Prescott contract, but I still think the Cowboys are a top 10 team in the NFL. Even though they have struggled to find success in the playoffs, they still have a very, very good offense. Looking at the rest of the NFC North, you got the Bears at 17. I sort of understand that. He has the Vikings lower than the Bears at number 23. And here's the thing with the Bears. I think right now there's a ton of optimism, which is warranted considering how people view Caleb Williams. He was seen as the top QB prospect, and he very well could become an elite QB in the NFL. But at the same time, things can go south for teams that you maybe wouldn't have expected before the season. And so even though the Bears right now seem to be a better team than the Vikings because of Caleb Williams, we do have to keep in mind that it will be his rookie season, and it could take him time to develop and grow, even though he has a pretty solid cast around him. And so I still think the Vikings could be a better team than the Bears. It sort of comes down to Caleb Williams, how he plays. Just like last season before the year, we didn't know how good Jordan Love would be in the NFL, and there were a lot of question marks there. And I think that with Caleb Williams, it's hard to really gauge the Bears right now because we haven't seen how he looks in the NFL, and there's been countless examples of, number 1, number 2, number 3 overall picks that have failed to find success, even with the Bears, Mitch Trubisky, Justin Fields. And so I think if I had to guess, I would say Caleb Williams becomes a solid QB in the NFL in the next couple of seasons. But there is a small chance that that could not be the case, and so we'll keep an eye on that one. And then, let's see, the final one, the Jets at 25. I'll put the Jets way higher. They were 7-10 last year with some of the worst quarterback play in the NFL. Same over the past 2 seasons. Now you have Aaron Rodgers coming back. And if you look at the passer rating for the Jets the past 2 years, it was around 70. In an Aaron Rodgers 2022 season with the Packers, when he had a fractured thumb he was dealing with for a while, it was sort of an average season for Aaron Rodgers, and it was around a 90 passer rating, which was much better than the Jets have seen at quarterback in a long time. So I think that bumps them up. I think they're definitely not 25. I put them in the playoffs, so at least top 14. I probably put them in the 10 to 14 range. So those are sort of some of my thoughts on these power rankings. If you want more Packers content, subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.